is Perfectly Faded Research Drops. Happy 2022. I hope all of you had a lovely Christmas and a nice New Year. And I want to say thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you. It was really nice to see. Um, and just thank you from the bottom of my heart. So now I've got that out of the way because I'm not sure what I meant to say. We are going to do about the intelligence cycle. So that is what we're going to do today. So let's get started. Okay, so firstly, I need to highlight it like a boss. I feel like a boss today. Maybe because I've had a bit of chocolate. And not the alcoholic chocolate, just chocolate. And we're going to intelligence cycle there. So while that's loading, I'm just going to say the first thing we're going to do is the first few videos are going to be, if it takes a few videos, are going to be on what the intelligence cycle is, and then the videos after that it's going to be about what is wrong with the intelligence cycle, because surprisingly there are people that think there's things wrong with it. So we're going to look at it from both sides. So we're going to have what it is and why we may not need it if the intelligence agency is not me, obviously. But still, it's pretty good for researching, I tell you. So let's get started. How intelligence works. A dynamic process fueling dynamic solutions. The intelligence community is responsible for supplying accurate and usable information to those who make national security decisions. Generating reliable, accurate intelligence is an active, never-ending process commonly referred to as the intelligence cycle. Explore what goes into each step of the process. Okay. So, planning. Determining what issues need to be addressed and what information must be gathered to provide the proper answers. Policymakers, including the president, his or her advisors, not survivors, there, the National Security Council, and the other major departments and agencies of government initiate requests for intelligence. The ICs issue coordinators interact with these officials to identify core concerns and information requirements. And if I've got this right, I think it's the Directorate of Intelligence that is actually the coordinator. But I could be wrong. I think I'm right, but I'm not sure. But we will find out. Don't worry about that. Okay. These needs then guide our collection strategies and allow us to produce the appropriate intelligence products. We begin by examining finished intelligence from previous cycles. So they go into the big archive of intelligence and information, and they're like, oh, what have we got on this? Oh yeah, we've got that. Let's expand on that. basically. Um, which leads us to formulate a strategic plan for new intelligence gathering and analysis. So that's the planning stage. Now we're going on the collection stage. Collection, gathering raw information from many different sources. In this stage, also known as data gathering, intelligence is acquired through activities such as interviews, technical and physical surveillance. So that would come under HUMIT. That will come under SIGNIT. Um, and I can't remember the other ones. Don't know why. Yeah, I was right. Imagery, IMNIT, yeah. So, where were we? So, interviews, physical surveillance, human source operations. Information can be gathered from open, covert, electronic, and satellite sources. I'm not going to look into the covert because we're going to do that in another video. Right. And we know about these, but I'm going to read them again. Anyway, there are 6 basic types of intelligence collection. Signals intelligence, SIGINT, the interception of signals, whether between people, between machines, or a combination of both. Imagery intelligence, IMINT, representations of objects produced electronically or by optical means on film, electronic display devices, or other media. So it could be satellites, things like that. Measurement and signature in SIP, mass int. Scientific and technical intelligence information used to locate, identify, or describe distinctive characteristics of specific targets. And I think with this one, I'm going to actually put, yeah, it is that side. I'm going to put the video in which or the playlist of videos or just a video or something up here in the little banner thingy, my bobby, my bing thing, where you'll learn about all these techniques. Okay. Human source intelligence. HUMIT. Intelligence derived from human sources. The oldest method for collecting information. Open source intelligence. OSINT. Publicly available information appearing in print or electronic form, including radio, television, newspapers, journals. The internet, commercial databases, videos, graphics, and drawings. So if you think of open source, you'd think people like us who research stuff on the internet. We're doing open source. And you've got geospatial intelligence, GeoInt. Imagery and geospatial data produced through an integration of imagery intelligence, and geographic information. Okay, we're going to do processing now. Okay, processing. Synthesizing, I think that's the right word. Why are you not highlighting? I need you to highlight. You're not going to highlight. So, synthesizing the raw intelligence into a usable state. Okay. The collection stage of the intelligence process typically yields large amounts of unfiltered data, which requires organization. Substantial intelligence resources are devoted to the synthesis of, of this data into a form that intelligence analysis can use. Information filtering techniques include exploiting imagery, decoding messages, and translating broadcasts, reducing telemetry to meaningful measures, preparing information for computer processing, storage, and retrieval. So that would probably be like making sure you've got enough room on the database or the server or folders and things for your. But this is talking about computers, so I take it's like folders and things. Placing human source reports into a form and context to make them more understandable. So they're probably taking notes and it's probably in shorthand, and basically in this process they need to do the shorthand into a more understandable state. So it's like a therapist. Therapists do this, although most now use a tape recorder. But there are ones that still write things down, and they mostly use like short form and special words and things for certain things that you say, and then they translate it into a more palatable report. They put your notes in, but type it up as more context and things like that. Okay. Analysis. Analysis. Integrating, evaluating, and analyzing all available data and distilling it into final intelligence products. Analysis integrate the data into a coherent whole, put the evaluated information in context, and produce finished intelligence that includes assessments of events and judgments about the implications of the information for the United States. So probably making judgment as to whether this is going to affect the United States in a bad way or a good way. They are encouraged to include alternative scenarios in their assessments and to look for opportunities to warn about possible developments abroad that could either provide threats to or opportunities for US security and policy interest. Analysis also developed requirements for collection of new information. So, to unpack that, and I hate that word unpack, but my brain just come out with it. Basically, they have to make sure that it's all in context. That, as I said, is it good for the United States or is it bad for the United States? Are there going to scenarios? So, what if plan A goes wrong? We need a plan B, or what if this happens? Then we need to. So, kind of seeing everything well rounded and seeing all the possibilities that can go on. Also, that basically goes good or bad for the United States, and then analysis also developed requirements for collection of new information. So they come about with a list like this is the new requirements for the information you need. I'm like, okay, thank you. That, yep. Now we're going to go into decimation phase. The decimation phase, distributing intelligent products to the policymakers who requested them. Once information has been reviewed and correlated with data from other available sources, it is called finished intelligence and is disseminated directly directly to the same policymakers whose initial needs generated the intelligence requirements. Finished intelligence is provided daily to the President and key national security advisors, who then make decisions based on this information. Okay, let's pause there, and we'll look in. We'll go through that. So, dissemination, they put it in a way that the policymakers will understand, basically, and give them what they requested. So when they're finished their intelligence, they give it to the president and the key advisors and the Senate committee if they've asked for stuff. But also they provide information to the president daily. That's why they have the presidential daily briefs, because that is kind of like a thing every day. They have a book or whatever they have. We'll find that out, don't worry. And they give it to the president and his key advisors to have a little look over. Okay. Where were we? So, based on this information, these decisions may lead to request for further examination, thus triggering the intelligence cycle again. So, if, say, one of the advisors is like, well, we need a little bit more information on this one, then that unlocks another intelligence cycle, which must be very frustrating but rewarding at the same time. Okay. There are 5 categories of finished intelligence. So, current intelligence is addresses day-to-day events. So, that would be the daily briefs the president and the key advisors would have. Estimative intelligence looks forward to assess potential developments that could affect US national security. So looking into like small things that might be happening that might end up getting the United States involved or something happening to the United States. Warning intelligence sounds an alarm or gives notice to policymakers. Scientific and technical intelligence includes an examination of the technical development, characteristics, performance, and capabilities of foreign technologies, including weapon systems or subsystems, and research intelligence. Supports other finished intelligence products. Current estimative, warning, and scientific and technical. So that basically rounds them all up. So research intelligence, warning intelligence. So let's have a little quick look and see if there's something here about the warning one. Okay. Actually, talking, I'll have a look and see if I can find the a copy of that in a PDF or EPUB version, but I think that was pretty clear. But we can always have a look. Okay, so it sounds an alarm for policymakers. This type of intelligence conveys a sense of urgency and implies a possible need to respond with policy action. Warning intelligence includes the identification or forecasting of events such as coups, third party wars, or refugee situations that would warrant the engagement of US military forces or that would have a sudden and detrimental effect on US foreign policy concerns. Oh, okay. That makes a bit of sense. Okay. I will look for them when we're done. But I think we're done here. And so in the next clip, we're gonna, or segment as I like to call it, we're gonna look at another part, another another article and see what they say about the intelligence cycle. So it was lovely being with you, and I'm gonna say bye for now, and I'll see you in the next bit. Bye guys. We're now going to do a search of the intelligence cycle. Again, we've already done this one, so I think we're going to go on that one. Okay, so this is the Federation of American Scientists website, and Yeah, so let's get to it. Right, so, sorry. The intelligence cycle is the process of developing raw information into finished intelligence for policymakers to use in decision making and action. There are 5 steps which constitute the intelligence cycle. Number 1, planning and direction. This is management of the entire effort, from identifying the need for data to delivering an intelligence product to a customer. It is the beginning and the end of the cycle. The beginning because it involves drawing up specific collection requirements, and the end because finished intelligence, which supports policy decisions, generates new requirements. So in other words, it's like a never-ending loop. Okay. The whole process depends on guidance from public officials, policymakers, the President, his aides, the National Security Council, and other major departments and agencies of government initiate requests for intelligence. Okay, number 2. Collection is the gathering of raw information needed to produce finished intelligence. There are many sources of information, including open sources such as foreign broadcasts, newspapers. Sorry, my glasses just fucked up for a second. Newspapers, periodicals, and books. Open source reporting is integral to the CIA's analytical capabilities. There are also secret sources of information. CIA's operations officers collect such information from agents abroad and from defectors who provide information obtainable in no other way. So that is human intelligence. Sorry about this, my eye is just... Okay. Finally, technical collection, electronics and satellite photography plays an indispensable role in modern intelligence, such as monitoring arms control agreements and providing direct support to military. Now, I'm going to say one thing. I am not sure when this was written. There's no date or anything here. So I don't know if this is old or if this is new or in between. So I'm just taking this as taking some little bits and not knowing. But since they're talking about the CIA, I'm taking it that it's before the Director of National Intelligence. I could be wrong. I could be right at the same time. We don't know. processing involves converting the vast amount of information collected to a form usable by analysis through decryption, language translation, and data reduction. So, for me, they decrypt the information, probably like through passwords and stuff like that, keys. Language translations speaks for itself, and then data reduction. Let's have a little look at that. Okay. We'll go on there and then we'll go on the Wikipedia page if that doesn't make sense. Data mining is applied to selected data in a large amount database. Okay, that makes no sense at all. Okay, let's just go on Wikipedia for a second. Okay. Data reduction. Data reduction is the transformation of numerical and alphabetical digital information derived empirically or experimentally into a correlated order and simplified form. The purpose of data reduction can be twofold: reduce the number of data records by eliminating invalid data, or produce summary data and statistics at different aggregation. Not sure I'm saying that right, so I'm going to get Mr. Speaky to do it. Aggregation. Okay. Levels for various applications. When information is derived from instrument readings, there may also be a transformation from analog to digital form. When the data are already in digital form, the reduction of the data typically involves some editing, scaling, encoding, sorting, collating, not correlating, collating. That is collating, isn't it? Sorry guys, I know, perfectly, but you should know these words. Collating. I am useless trying to say words. I am so sorry. Okay. And producing tabular summaries. When the observations are discrete but the underlying phenomenon is continued, then smoothing and interpolation. What the hell is that? It's mathematics. My one kryptonite. Actually, there's a lot of kryptonites, but that is my biggest kryptonite. The math are the underlying phenomenon. Where am I? Are often needed. Sorry. The data reduction is often undertaken in the presence of reading or measurement errors. Some idea of the nature of these errors is needed before the most likely value may be determined. Okay. So, numerical, putting things into graphs. There. Okay. Data cleansing. Oh, okay. So that's like defragmentizing. Okay. So here they're saying these are common techniques used in data reduction. Order by some aspects of size. So would that be like reducing the resolution on something? I don't know. Table. Oh my god, you're making me say long words.
Diagonalization.
Diagonalization. That's the word, people. Whereby rows and columns of tables are rearranged to make patterns easier to see. Okay. Round drastically to 1 or at most 2 effective digits. Effective digits are ones that... Oh, so rounding the numbers up, okay. Can you just say rounding the numbers up to a certain number, please? So say something was say 1.25, then you would round that up to either 1 or 2. That's my experience of rounding things up. Okay. Use averages to provide a visual focus as well as a summary. So take the information and see what the average number is, and then just say that's the average number. Use layout and labeling guide to guide the eye. Remove chart junk such as pictures and lines. Oh, I see, okay. Give a brief verbal summary. Well, okay. That sounds good to me, kind of. Okay. Let's see what they say. I like to get all kinds of sources. Data reduction is a capacity... I'm sorry, I'm going to have to make this bigger. There we go. At least it's not really big like the last time I got before my classes. Data reduction is a capacity optimization technique in which data is reduced to its simplest possible form to free up capacity on a storage device. There are many ways to reduce data, but the idea is very simple. Squeeze as much data into physical storage as possible to maximize capacity. Oh, so this is to do with like hard drives and stuff. Okay. Okay, but they probably do have to do that. Something tells me, because probably have a server, but they probably don't want junk on there, so they reduce stuff as well. So we are going to read this. In this article, we'll dive into the basics of data reduction to help you better evaluate storage vendors. Okay, benefits of data reduction. The main benefit of data reduction is pretty straightforward. The more data you can fit into a terabyte of disk space, the less capacity you'll need to purchase. Data reduction can save energy, reduce your physical storage cost, and decrease your data center footprint. which is probably something the CIA want to do. So okay, that's that kind. We've done that. Binary terms. Okay. Is this going to be computery as well? Yeah, that's going to be computery as well. Data reduction. Jigsaw Academy. Okay. Let's see first. Okay, my biggest enemy of all time, math. Okay, I'm going to try and understand this as much as I can. Okay, introduction. In today's data-heavy systems, where everything is captured for future use, you get a mammoth data set on every load. This data set could be big in terms of observation or quite minuscule. In terms of the number of features or columns or both. Data mining becomes okay, why is this talking about data mining? Okay. According to Wikipedia, a formal definition of data reduction goes like this. Data reduction is the transformation of numerical or alphabetical digital information derived empirically or experimentally. We've read this. 2. Reduction techniques. Okay. So this is data techniques, I take it, right? And then this is the dimensionality reduction. So that says wavelet transform, attribute subset selection, principal component analysis. And then on here we've got the numbers one. Parametric, data cube, aggregation, clustering, sampling, histogram. Okay. This looks very confusing. Okay. Oh, we'll just go with Wikipedia at the moment. I'm going to put this away. Although I might leave it because then I'll put in the thing and then you can read it for yourself. But basically, we'll go with this article that it's about rounding things up and trying to make things more simple. Okay. 4. All source analysis and production is the conversion of basic information into finished intelligence. It includes integrating actually, hold on, because I don't remember that being part of the it was planning, collection, processing. So 1, 2, 3. We're on number 4 now, right? So 1, number 3, which was processing. analysis. So are they for? Oh, that must be the analysis, all source analysis. Right, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Is the conversion of basic information into finished intelligence. It includes integrating, evaluating, and analyzing all available data, which is often fragmentary and even contradictory, and preparing intelligence products. Analysts, who are subject matter specialists, consider the information's reliability, validity, and relevance. So we've read, and in the beginning I did put the videos on the different information gathering in the theme above. So there may be someone who specialises in foreign intelligence, so things like that. They integrate data in a coherent whole, put the evaluated information into context, and produce finished intelligence that includes assessments of events and judgments about the implications of the information for the United States. So I have to make sure that the United States doesn't look bad, and how that information could make America look good, or if it is bad, then how they're going to cover that. The CIA devotes the bulk of its resources to providing strategic intelligence to policymakers. It performs this important function by monitoring events, warning decision makers about threats to the United States, and forecasting developments. So, okay. The subjects involved may concern different regions, problems, or personalities in various contexts: political, geographical, economic, military, scientific, or biographic. Current events, capabilities, and future trends are examined. So, putting that in a nice long bow and tying it really tight, they mean that the different regions of the country, there might be one region of the country that's like will get upset by whatever, and then there's another part that would be celebrating, so therefore there might be a war. Personalities in various contexts, so the personality of the leader of the country, whether he's very militant or he's not, how the economy is going, so are they prospering or are they not? Scientific, so are they ahead in scientific stuff, or are they, where are they? And then making sure that they keep up with current events of, so what's going on in the countries, their capabilities, probably in like war arms and things, and the future trends, so where they're going to be in like 10 years. Okay. The CIA produces numerous written reports, which may be brief, one page or less, or lengthy studies. They may involve current intelligence, which is of immediate importance, or long-range assignments. The agency presents some finished intelligence in oral briefings. The CIA also participates in the drafting and production of national intelligence estimates, which reflect the collective judgment of the intelligence community. So, this is probably before the Director of National Intelligence, where the CIA was in charge of everything, of the whole community. So, basically, now, talking about now, you get an analyst, and they will go to the White House and give the briefing, or write a brief for the president and his advisors and stuff. Which could be very, very important. So, say, some kind of war zone to something that's going to take a long time that they're building up to. Okay. And number 5, decimation. The last step, which logically feeds into the first, is the distribution of the finished intelligence to the customers. The same policymakers who needs initiated the intelligence requirements. Finished intelligence is hand-carried daily to the President and key national security advisors. The policymakers, the recipients of finished intelligence, then make decisions based on the information, and these decisions may lead to the levying or more requirements, thus triggering the intelligence again cycle. So they might have information, and then all of a sudden a policymaker will be like, well, let's see it from this side, and then that will trigger another, or oh, there's something else, so then that triggers it again. And yeah, I think we are done. And we'll go on to the next one, the next segment, where we'll look at another article, and I hope this made sense, and it was okay. I tried. So I will speak to you then. Everything will be in the filing cabinet, and I shall see you later. Bye. Illusions, and I'm back. Okay, if I sound a bit weird, it's because I've got a mouth guard on, and I'm still trying to get used to it, so I might sound a bit different, although people have told me I don't sound very different. I thought we'd go through the CIA Spy Kids file, and I was going to take this on the end of this video and then start the other video with what I was going to do next, which was the Intelligence 101. So I'm going to get through this. I have actually written a FOIA to the CIA about the intelligence cycle and their involvement and the impact and things like that, although I don't think they're going to answer. They're probably going to ask me for more information because I'm not very good at wording things, so they probably think, oh my god, this is silly, but I've done it. So let's get down to this. It's only short, it's only a page. Okay, so the intelligence cycle. When CIA officers are assigned a specific project, we follow a 5-step process called the intelligence cycle. This process ensures we do our job correctly as we work through a system of checks and balances. The 5 steps are planning and direction, collection, processing, analysis, and production and decimation. Let's take a closer look at each one. I said it's the kids one, so it's going to be a bit more simpler, but it kind of helps with explaining and measuring up what we already have learnt so far anyway. So, planning and direction. When we are tasked with a specific job, we begin planning what we'll do and how. We move in a specific direction to get the job done, listing what we know about the issue and what we need to find out. We discuss ways to gather the necessary intelligence. I might have to just bulk this up a little bit. There we go. Collection. We collect information overtly, openly, and covertly, secretly. Reading foreign newspapers and magazine articles, listening to foreign radio, and watching overseas television broadcasts are examples of overt or open source for us. Other information sources can be covert or secret, such as information collected with listening devices and hidden cameras. We can even use space-age technology like satellite photography. For instance, some analysts could actually view how many aeroplanes are present at a foreign military base by looking at a picture taken from a satellite in space, which would be GeoInt. Okay, processing. We take all the information that we have collected and put it into an intelligence report. This information could be anything from a translated document to a description of a satellite photo. Analysis and production. During this step, we take a closer look at all the information and determine how it fits together while concentrating on answering the original task. Skin. We assess what is happening, why it is happening, what might occur next, and how it affects the United States. Interest. And then decimation. In this final step, we give our final written analysis to a policymaker, the same policymaker who started the cycle. After reading the final analysis and learning the answer to the original question, the policymaker may come back with more questions. Then the whole process starts over again. So that kind of lines up with what we've said. We've just gone a bit deeper than what the kids one has, obviously. So we've done that, and now we're going to go on to Intelligence 101 in the next video. So I will see you there, guys, and speak to you then. Bye!